whenever people are creating their Google Ads campaign, I have shortlisted few of the common mistakes which people do while creating their campaign, and this may cost a fortune. So it is very essential and recommended to have this checklist in your mind whenever you are creating or running your Google Ads campaign, so that you are being ensured that you are not wasting money, or you are getting the maximum out of your Google Ads campaign. So I have divided the most common Google Ads PPC mistakes into 7 points. Number 1 is campaign setup mistakes. Number 2 is keyword setup mistakes. Number 3 is ad copy and landing page mistake. Number 4 is bidding and budget mistakes. Number 5 is audience and targeting mistake. Number 6 is ignoring data and optimization. And number 7 is policy violation and account issues. So now let's get started on this. So the number 1 point is campaign setting mistakes. So we are going to discuss on the campaign setting mistakes which people often do while creating their campaign. So let's move on to this is one of the Google account dashboard, and I'm going to go in the settings to show you the common mistake which people do while creating their Google Ads campaign. Now in the campaign mistake section, the number 1 is I have seen is the campaign goal. Now this is a very common issue, very common thing. People do not have any idea on which goal they are working on. So I think that your goal should be clear in your mind and should be done over here. So this is a campaign mistake which people do, is that people most of the time go with no goal guidance, or they usually select the wrong goal while creating their Google Ads campaign. This is the first thing. Second thing is selecting the networks over here, which I have seen is that most of the time people do is they combine the search network and display network combine into a single campaign, which is a big no. So I do not recommend running both search network and display network in a single campaign. Rather, I recommend them to create a separate display network and separate search network campaign, so they get the maximum results out of it. Usually what happens is that when you combine it, usually the CTR click-through rate on the display network campaign is low and the CTR on the search network is high. And when you combine both, your overall CTR gets affected. So which is why it is ideally a good strategy to have both as a separate campaigns. Apart from this, another mistake which I think people do is, in the campaign setting, is that they do not set the conversion tracking. I have discussed in my other lectures on how you can set conversion tracking. You can simply move on to your conversion tracking by setting over here as well. See your conversion summary over here and select your conversion tracking strategy. Without conversion tracking strategy, you will never be able to get good results because you do not have a data. And as a marketer, you should focus on getting the maximum data so that you can take the maximum out of your campaigns. And another thing, as a last thing in a campaign setup mistake, which I think people do, is they select the wrong campaign type. Whenever you are selecting a new campaign, you are being presented with several options including sales, leads. Now I discussed regarding the goals. However, there is another thing which I want to discuss regarding, and that is regarding whenever you are selecting one, is that which campaign type you are going to go. You want to go with search campaign, performance max, demand generation, display, shopping, and video. All have different goals. So apart from setting your goal where you wanted to see the leads, traffic, website traffic, or brand awareness, you should also select your campaign type accordingly. Now that was a goals mistake. Here the mistake is selecting the wrong campaign type, and this can also cause a huge loss if you select the wrong strategy, because if you select the wrong strategy, your campaign will work according to that and your end results may get hurt over it. Now moving on to onto the second mistake which people do is keyword mistake. Keyword mistakes are actually another strategical mistake which people do. And for instance, if you are going in this campaign and we're going to discuss regarding the keywords, what people do is people either add broad match, and that doesn't work well. So a broad match is a clear no over here. I recommend people not to run broad match campaigns. However, people do run it. Also, selecting your keyword strategy very wisely with majorly emphasizing and focusing on exact match and phrase match over here. And another thing, in the keyword section, which people do is they do not add your negative keywords. Now, the negative keyword list, if is missing, is going to hurt you a lot. There are few negative keywords, which I recommend people adding it. For instance, free, cheap, something like that. However, to get this essential data, it is very important to have a look on your search terms over here, you can simply select your search term over here, select your past data and of where people are coming from, which query people are coming from, which query is getting converted, and if any query which is not converting well for you after certain clicks, you can simply exclude them in your negative keywords so that your ad is not being shown on those. So this is another mistake which I have seen, people doing it. Now moving on to the third part, and the third part is ad copy and landing page mistake. Over here, I think that the ad copy mistake is very common, which people do is, they do not work on their ad assets. You can see over here like ad assets over here. I recommend having different ad assets over here to get the maximum out of your campaign. I'm going to use a tool which is known as a Kroya tool, which can easily preview my ad with and without ad assets. So lack of ad assets, have if you do not add ad assets in your ad will have less authenticity, less trust, and much more likely that people will not buy from you. If you see over here that this is a simple ad, however, if I add different assets in my ad, like over here, which I'm going to add over here, you can see that how attractive my ad has become. I'm showing over here my reviews over here. I'm showing over here my side links over here. I'm also going to show my location over here. I'm also going to show my coupon deals over here. So you can see over here that how attractive my ad has become. Now this is a very common mistake. Another thing I think that apart from missing ad extension, I think that the people do is missing relevancy. Now relevancy has a huge concern with your landing page as well. Majority of the time what people do is they land on the wrong page which lacks relevancy. Now if I look around on this campaign, if I'm going to move back to my ad section over here, what I did is I worked on the relevancy. Now you can see over here that I'm not landing on the main page, but I'm landing on where the compromise side is discussed. So if I'm going to open the website, I'm going to show you the relevancy point. You can see over here that this is a landing page where I'm landing on, and you can see over here that this is a compromise site which I am talking about over here in this matter. This is even not an ideal strategy. The best strategy is to create even more specific in-depth landing page for this compromise site only and not for other errors. So that is another thing which people miss over while creating their ads, is that they lack relevancy. So focus on the relevancy as well. And also, so now ad extensions, ad relevancy, and landing page relevancy. Now coming to the last part, and that is the landing page mistake. What the people do is they lack the CTA call to actions over here. If you see over here that we worked on the relevancy like buy now over here, showing authenticity by some case studies, Google partner affiliation, ad disapproval link, explanation of the service, and then buy now service over here. So these are few of the CTAs which we use over here. This is a CTA, this is a CTA, this is a CTA. So we are using multiple CTAs to ensure that people actually buy our service. So you can also use countdown timers and other things as well to take the maximum out of it. Also you can use newsletter and other strategies in your landing page to get the maximum out of your landing page. Another mistake which I think is in the the fourth part, and the fourth part is bidding and budgeting mistake. The people do a lot of mistake over here in the bidding and budgeting part. The first mistake people do is selecting the wrong bidding strategy, which you can see over here that if I move back over here in my campaign type over here, if I'm going to select the campaign settings over here, and I'm going to discuss regarding my bidding strategy over here. Majority of the time people do is selecting the wrong strategy, and also they do frequent changes of their bidding strategy, which actually causes your Google Ads learning strategy to get confused, because when you keep on suddenly changing your bidding strategy, Google will actually not able to understand what kind of audience is working well for you. And the second thing is try to understand the budget. Now for selecting the budget, it is important to know that which days, which time you are getting the most conversion. Spend your budget most of the time on those days and those hours when you are getting peak conversions. And I can understand now, in order to get this data, you have to run it for some time. However, after running for some time, the optimization of your campaign is very important and necessary, which you can do after analyzing your data. You can also look around for your ad schedules by going into your ad schedule from over here, and see around when you are getting most conversions from over here. Also, another thing you can see over here is that you can select the device bidding over here and see around which devices are converting well for you, and you can select your bidding strategy accordingly, and you can do the bid adjustment for those devices where you are getting more sales, and you can do the bid adjustment negative for those devices where you are getting poor conversions. So this is a few of the mistakes which people do in bidding and budgeting mistake. Now the next part is audience and targeting mistake. Whenever you are going to create your campaign, you are being provided with an option of selecting your when in the settings or in I can see over here, I can show you over in the audience over here that you are selecting the wrong audience, which actually confuses the Google. So now it's important to understand according to the age, gender, household, and other income factors to see what kind of people are working well for you, and then you can optimize accordingly. So look around for your age, gender, and other audience and targeting mistakes so that you can properly optimize your Google Ads campaign. In the next part of ignoring data and optimization, what I feel is that people do not do A/B testing. It is very important to see which kind of ad copy, which kind of a landing page is working well for you. As a marketer, you always need to keep on testing your A/B testing, A/B testing, A/B testing to see what's working well for you. Apart from A/B testing, another thing which people ignore is their quality score. I feel that the quality score is the main power household algorithm on which Google Ads primary functions. So people ignore it. You can see over here, if you move around to your keywords, you can see the columns over here, and in the columns you can add your quality score over here to see around. You can write it over here, your quality score. You can also select your quality score history as well and apply over here, and you're gonna get your quality score data over here. Since it's a new campaign and does not have any spend, so which is why it's not showing over here. However, it is very essential and important to note down your quality score over here and quality score history over here so that you can keep on optimizing your quality score. Once your quality score is optimized, your CPC is going to reduce automatically and your cost is eventually going to be reduced as well. Now, in the last part, the mistake people do is policy violations and account issues. With account issues, which I think people have done is, getting logged into many devices. This is a very bad thing which people do is they usually get logged into public networks, which ideally I do not recommend. I recommend it to either log in it through your personal mobile or your personal laptop, and do not use too many devices to log into your account. This can cause your account suspensions. Also, whenever you are going to try to do the payments on your Google Ads account, make sure that you are not using any proxy or any VPN or any other thing which can show your location from another region. This can also cause concerns and Google can temporarily suspend your account. Apart from this, there are multiple policy violations which you need to keep in mind when you are creating your ad copy. You need to understand that Google have unreliable claims, misrepresentation, compromised site, malware issues. So you need to keep in mind all of the things. With misrepresentation, with unreliable claim, it's when you are making wrong claims on the website, your account or your ad can be disapproved. Misrepresentation error is when you are actually having showing a different thing on your ad and a different thing on your landing page. This can cause misrepresentation. Compromised site is over there when the security or the payment part of your website is compromised or there is any virus on your website. Malware suspension is usually happens when there is a malware in your plugin, theme, or your website, or there is a pop-up error or any other security risk on your website. You can see the malware error on your website. There are other possible suspensions or policy violations as well. For instance, you can get unacceptable business practice policy when you are doing wrong content or wrong communication, or you are misleading customers. You can get the circumventing system policy error. There is another egregious violation as well. So there are multiple violations which can occur on your account. So it is very important and essential to get updated with all of the Google Ads policies so your account does not get suspended. So these are few of the mistakes which people do whenever they are working on their Google Ads campaign, and I highly recommend you to note all of these mistakes, and so you have a strong eye on all or those issues. So whenever you are creating a Google Ads campaign or running a Google Ads campaign, you have an idea on which points to look and optimize your campaign. So yeah, thank you for watching. And in case if you need assistance or service, me or my team assistance in optimizing your Google Ads campaign, you can hire us through the link in the description. Just to let you know that I run a Google Ads partner company and I have a team of dedicated professionals who work along with me in helping and optimizing a Google Ads campaign. So in case if you need our services, you can hire us through the link in the description. Once again, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel as well. Take care and bye-bye.